Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and this is a quick one. I just want to kind of really illustrate like why data structures, meaning the way you structure your data at any level of the programming stack. So whether you're talking about like the bits, the zeros and the ones, whether we're talking just about the strings in your program, why the way you organize your data really, really matters in how your program performs. Because it's all about how the process in which you access the data. So imagine this: we have a bunch of strings. Okay, they're both the exact same list of strings, but in the array of words, it's an array. So they're just in the sequence, in an arbitrary sequence. So one's after another, after another, after another. While then here we have a tree of words where instead of just having one list of words, we have like a branch. So essentially what we have here is an object, and there's a key for the first letter for different words. And then when we say, hey, letter A, hey, here's an array of all the letters that start with A. And I mean, you could take that going further. You could then suddenly do like A is actually a object with what the next letter would be, and then each of those would have an object with properties that represent what the next letter would be until you get to like arrays of words. And that's technically how like a lot of like search engines will structure the data, because I mean when you think about it, like you're typing it in there, it's not going to look through every single possible word. There has to be some sort of tree structure so it can get there faster, and that's the beauty of it. Okay, when you have like tree like structured data, okay, if I know that the letter starts with B, I don't have to go through this entire array. I can just skip to knowing, hey, it's going to either be bread or breeze. Okay, so basically because of the way we organize the data, the access patterns are faster. I don't have to like sort through, because again, the computer doesn't know the difference between these words. It's just trying to figure out what you told it to do. So here we have two functions that are going to look for a word. So I give it a word. So look in array, what it does, it's going to, let me actually unhide that. It's just going to see, hey, is the word in the array? Okay. And then look in tree, it's going to take that word, take the first letter of the word, look in the object to see if there's a key for that first letter in the word, assume that that's an array, and then see if that word is included in the array. Okay, and then here we're using console.time to measure the time of these two processes. So here we're going to look for the word again in the array of words versus the tree of words and see the difference in the time that it takes. Okay, so again, you may think that the look and tree may take longer because I have to do two steps. I have to go first, go get that first character and access the object, and then access the array and look in the array, but watch what happens. So node scratch.js. Okay, when we look in the array, it sees that again is in the array, so it did actually find the word, and it took 2.5 milliseconds. While looking through the tree was not even like a fraction of that. Okay, and so the point being is that the way you structure your data, depending on how much data you have and the kind of the actual data you're structuring, because again, this like these strings that like is a good example where I could do a tree like structure because I can organize it by that first letter and then theoretically the second letter and the third letter. But that's the reason why it matters. Okay, so because that was a lot faster. Okay, that's why you can have things like autocorrect. Okay, why it's easy to why it's so fast to be able to traverse the DOM tree and things like that, because you structure that data as a tree versus just in a big array of nodes. That would be really slow, because every time you were to like do a query selector, you would have to go look through this long list array one by one. So hopefully this gives you an idea of why you want to use data structure, why different data structures have different pros and cons. And there are times where you'd want an array, but the idea is like again give you an example why that this does matter and it's something to think about when you're constructing your applications. So my name is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. Have a great day and enjoy.